They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this place.
Hey everybody, this is Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now this video, I cover this a lot on my videos, but this video is about why women and men voting has a major loophole and is the sole reason why we have such a great divide between men and women, you know. Now, what you have to understand, and this video will be short, what you have to understand is in the 1920s, when they made it legal for women to vote, the government intentionally left a major loophole. The major loophole is that, and to avoid favoring a sex, the government did not set up a rule to equalize votes and a certain percentage to equalize it. So they wouldn't be able to favor one sex over the other. And what I mean by that is this. Like, let's say 500,000 women voted and 450,000 men voted. You know what I'm saying? So instead of the government equalizing it between the sexes, as in, since 500,000 women voted and only 400,000 men voted, we will only count 450,000 votes. That way, we're not tampering with the votes, because all we need to do is appeal to one sex and we won't need the vote of the other. This is why we have no-fault divorce. This is why we have the family court. This is why we have so many laws in place that are set up to destroy the man and the relationship between men and women. It's because the government never closed that loophole between the sexes when it comes to votes. You know, I'll say it again. You know, for example, if 750,000 men voted and 600,000 women voted, instead of it being we only count the 600,000 votes, so it could be an equal vote between men and women, they still count the 700,000 men votes to 600,000 women voting. You see, they don't equalize the votes. So this means all the government has to do, all the politicians have to do, is cater to a certain sex. And if they cater to that sex, they will get the overwhelming votes. You know what I mean? Welfare and, you know, a lot of stuff, a lot of votes the government used. You know what I'm saying? They catered to a certain sex. This is why I say, you as a man, there's really no point to vote anymore. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're voting with your money, as in what's in your pocket, you can't have a fair chance. You know, one of the biggest movements that ever happened in American history, modern, was the Tea Party. What the Tea Party did, when I was younger, you know, I didn't respect the Tea Party. But then as I got older and, you know what I'm saying, got more educated, I realized that the Tea Party was onto something big. What the Tea Party did was this. They were a group of people that got their money together and said, we're not only not gonna vote for these politicians, we're gonna set up PACs. You know, PACs are basically, you know, like a pack of people that set up certain ads where they'll say this politician is corrupt, this and that, don't vote for him, don't support him. The Tea Party did that. And the Tea Party had lobbying groups where they were lobbying for certain laws, you know, and they got all the politicians to bow down because Your campaign is about the money. The Tea Party said we're not gonna fund, we're not gonna support any politician if they don't support what we want. You know, and those that think they're gonna play us, we're gonna set up PACs to damage their campaigns. So the politicians bowed down. They started saying we're Tea Party Republicans because the Tea Party had them in a row. The Tea Party had them. You know what I'm saying? So they started joining the Tea Party. The Tea Party basically had the politicians surrounded. Your votes, at the end of the day, your votes are a piece of paper. Your vote won't fund my campaign. You know what I'm saying? Your vote won't fund my campaign. You know, and at the end of the day, once a politician is elected, Democrat or Republican, once they're elected, once they're elected, they will basically cater to their political party anyway. But what the Tea Party did is that Republicans became Tea Party Republicans because the Tea Party had so much influence on them. The Tea Party fought back. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you as a man, with how the fact that the government hasn't closed this loophole between the male and the female votes, you as a man, you shouldn't be voting with paper. You know, your votes. You should only vote with you should only vote with the peso or the dinero. You know, you can only vote with your money, man. Or you form PACs, or you form whatever. And I'm gonna make another video about a coalition. Men should form a coalition. But basically, now how would you close this loophole? That's what you're asking me. Yo, truth. How would you close this loophole? My man, hold the truth hostage. How would you close the loophole? Well, I spoke to a friend of mine. How you would close the loophole is you would do the 50% law. You know, 51% rule. What I mean by 51% rule is that if, for example, if for example 50 if the men voting and the women voting, for example, let's say if the men are voting more at 51%, they're 51% above the women votes, we don't count those. We equalize it. So for example, let's say you had 500,000 women voted and you had let's say 500,000. So you had 750,000 men voted. Since the men are up above the female vote by 51%, you know what I'm saying? Or 50%, you chop it down. So only 500,000 votes will count. If the government was set up this rule, we wouldn't have it where all they need is to cater to a certain sex. You know what I mean? To have their elections. If they would close the loophole and base it off 50%, as in if the men or the women exceed each other in participation in voting by 50%, we will equalize it. It will be automatically equalized and we will not count the votes that are above 50%. The reason I say that is this would equalize it, and anything, for example, you know what I'm saying? Anything below that, it is what it is. Because I mean, if for example, 250,000 men voted for something, and you know what I'm saying? Actually, no, it ain't anything below that. Anything above that. For example, if more than 100% women voted, you know what I'm saying? Then, or over 200% voted over the men participating, then it's something the men don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Then it technically doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? For example, if you had 100,000 men vote on something and 2,000 and you had 1,000,000 women vote on something, the men most likely don't care for it. Don't really see it as a problem. This would equalize the playing field between the sexes a lot more. than just the government catering to a certain sex. So for example, you know what I'm saying, if a governor's running for something and wants to pass this law and wants approval by the public, he can't pass it if, for example, you have you know what I'm saying, you have 50% more men voted on it than women. Boom, you have to equalize it. You know what I'm saying? So boom, if it's over 50%, you know what I'm saying, if it's at least anything above 100%, you don't equalize it. You know what I'm saying? That just means the men didn't really care about it. You know what I mean? For example, let's say there was a vote to make you know, to change the law, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, to make it patriotic for women to put flags on their nails or whatever. They all voted for that far more than the men. The men probably don't care about it. You know, that's why I say you as a man in this country, there's no point of you voting beyond you voting with your dollar. As in, for example, you know, when you go to a restaurant and you pay them, you approve of their service, and you keep returning, you approve of their service. So why would you keep voting in a system where you don't approve of their service? And then why would you expect any of the politicians to want to change when you... Yeah, so basically, you keep voting in a system that you know is broken, expecting them to change, especially as a man. As a man, there's no point in you voting unless it's with your cash. You know, for example, you see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in movies. Every time you spend money on there, those Hollywood execs say, man, they really support Dwayne Johnson. We need to put him in more movies. So you keep supporting a system where you don't approve of their service. Now, that's what you do when you're voting. You as a man should only be voting with your wallet, your stocks, your money, what you're generating and all that, where your money's going. Because even those politicians, they run on money. And like I was saying with the Tea Party was the last big political movement. You know what I'm saying? They were the last big political movement because the Tea Party got their money together and held it. They held their money hostage, like, you know, like my name, Hold the Truth Hostage. They told those politicians, if you want access to our money, our support, and our funding, here's what you have to do. And they literally got the Republicans to become Tea Party Republicans. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we have to do. We have to put our money where our mouth is. Not put our paper votes where our mouth is. Those paper votes, I used to think about, support the local mayor and all that. But here's the thing. If the local mayor is a Democrat and all that, he's going to follow the governor who's a Democrat, the Senate who's a Democrat. As you can see, it don't matter if they're local or not. The only thing local is that they're closer to you. But if you can get your money together, if you can set up PACs, you can set up lobbying parties in your local town, then you could get something done. Because at any time that politician knows they're so unified and organized that they could destroy me at any time. So I better behave. I better pay attention and respect to these people. You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do. So there's no point in participating in a broken system. When you do that, you're encouraging that system to remain the same. All right. So it's been Hold the Truth Hostage. The truth was so important, we would hold it hostage and not negotiate with lies. Peace.
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of